Welcome back to our channel, dedicated fans of daytime drama. Today is a fantastic day to unpack the latest, jaw-dropping developments shaking up the glamorous world of Los Angeles fashion and romance. Let us dive right into the explosive drama unfolding on your screens. The landscape of Los Angeles is no stranger to scandalous affairs, clandestine meetings, and forbidden romances, but the latest developments shaking the foundations of the Spencer and Logan families are truly unprecedented. Rumors of a highly secretive and deeply inappropriate relationship between Wyatt Spencer and his former mother-in-law-to-be, Shauna Fulton, have officially exploded into the public eye. The sheer magnitude of this taboo dynamic is sending shockwaves through the corporate offices of the newly minted Logan fashion brand and threatening to tear apart the tight-knit bonds of the Spencer family. Wyatt, who recently returned to town at the behest of his father, Bill Spencer, dropped the bombshell that his long-term engagement to Flo Fulton was officially over. However, no one could have possibly predicted that the psychological void left by Flo would be filled by her own mother, Shauna. The scandalous nature of this pairing has ignited a firestorm of gossip, betrayal, and corporate paranoia that promises to change the trajectory of everyone involved. The catalyst for this massive explosion of drama occurred within the sleek, modern walls of the Logan brand headquarters. Wyatt and Shauna were caught in a deeply ambiguous and highly intimate moment that left absolutely no room for innocent explanations. Witnesses describe a scene charged with undeniable electricity, where lingering touches, hushed whispers, and a profound physical proximity painted a picture of a romance that had clearly crossed the boundaries of platonic comfort. For Wyatt, a man who has always prided himself on his strategic mind and logical approach to life, this descent into a forbidden romance represents a shocking departure from his usual character. Following the painful and quiet dissolution of his relationship with Flo, Wyatt found himself adrift in a sea of emotional uncertainty. In Shauna, he has surprisingly found a strange, magnetic comfort. She represents a chaotic rebellion against the structured expectations placed upon him by his family, offering him an escape from the relentless pressures of the corporate warfare currently raging between the Logan brand and Forrester Creations. However, the comfort Wyatt finds in Shauna is entirely overshadowed by the sheer wrath of his father. When Bill Spencer discovered the ambiguous moment between his son and the notorious Shauna Fulton, his reaction was nothing short of volcanic. Bill had specifically summoned Wyatt back to Los Angeles to serve as his top executive lieutenant, a strategic mastermind meant to help him wage an all-out corporate war against Forrester Creations. Bill envisions the Logan brand as an unstoppable fashion empire, a legacy built on power, prestige, and absolute dominance. The absolute last thing Bill needs during this critical expansion phase is a catastrophic public relations nightmare involving his son and a woman with a history of chaotic opportunism. Bill is furious, pacing the floors of Spencer Publications with a terrifying intensity, acutely aware that a scandal of this magnitude could completely ruin the credibility of the Logan empire before it even has a chance to fully establish its dominance in the global market. Bill's fears are entirely justified. The fashion industry thrives on perception, and the media would ruthlessly devour the story of a top executive engaging in a sordid affair with his ex-fiancee's mother. Bill views Shauna not as a romantic partner for his son, but as a dangerous liability, a ticking time bomb that could detonate and destroy everything he and Katie Logan Spencer have worked so hard to build. He has demanded that Wyatt sever all ties with Shauna immediately, issuing threats that range from professional termination to complete disownment. But Wyatt, fueled by a mixture of defiance and genuine, albeit twisted, affection for Shauna, is refusing to back down. This rebellion is pushing the father-son dynamic to a breaking point, transforming the Spencer family from a united front into a fractured battleground of conflicting loyalties and explosive tempers. Brooke Logan Forrester is certainly not staying out of this chaotic situation. Upon hearing the rumors of Wyatt and Shauna's inappropriate connection, Brooke immediately went on the offensive. Brooke has a long, bitter, and deeply personal history with Shauna Fulton. She vividly remembers Shauna's manipulative machinations in Las Vegas, where Shauna capitalized on a drunken Ridge Forrester to orchestrate a fraudulent marriage. Brooke views Shauna as a relentless parasite, a woman who will stop at nothing to embed herself within the wealth and power of Los Angeles's elite families. In Brooke's mind, there is absolutely no possibility that Shauna's feelings for Wyatt are genuine. Instead, Brooke is absolutely convinced that this entire romance is a meticulously crafted revenge plot designed by Shauna to destroy the Logan family from the inside out. Brooke believes that Shauna is using Wyatt as a pawn, a Trojan horse to infiltrate the Logan brand and sabotage its success, just as Hope Logan Spencer is preparing to launch her highly anticipated rival fashion line. Brooke's paranoia is infectious, spreading rapidly through the Logan family and adding intense personal stakes to the ongoing corporate drama. She is actively lobbying Bill and Katie to physically ban Shauna from the Logan building, arguing that Shauna's mere presence is a toxic influence that will poison the company's culture and alienate their top designers. Brooke's relentless crusade against Shauna is also causing friction with Ridge, who is already overwhelmed by the ongoing feuds between Hope and Steffy Forrester Finnegan. Brooke's absolute conviction that Shauna is an evil mastermind is blinding her to the possibility that Wyatt might actually be a willing participant in this forbidden romance, choosing to cast Shauna as the sole villain in a narrative that is far more complex and emotionally nuanced than she is willing to admit. The collateral damage of this scandalous affair extends far beyond the boardroom, striking at the very heart of the Spencer brotherhood. Liam Spencer, who has always been Wyatt's closest confidant and biggest supporter, is deeply disappointed and disgusted by his brother's actions. Liam and Wyatt have weathered countless storms together, navigating the complicated waters of their father's expectations and their own messy romantic histories. But for Liam, Wyatt's involvement with Shauna crosses an unforgivable moral boundary. Liam cannot comprehend how Wyatt could betray the memory of his relationship with Flo by pursuing her mother, viewing the entire situation as a grotesque violation of trust and decency. The revelation of the ambiguous moment in the Logan office has created an irreparable rift between the brothers, shattering the unwavering trust that has always defined their relationship. Liam's disappointment is particularly poignant given his current role as the ultimate champion for his wife, Hope. While Liam is actively supporting Hope's defection to the Logan brand and encouraging her to build a new empire, he watches in horror as his brother threatens to tear that very empire down with a sordid tabloid scandal. Liam has confronted Wyatt, pleading with him to see reason and abandon this destructive path. But Wyatt, feeling cornered and judged by the brother who is supposed to offer unconditional support, has lashed out defensively. The resulting arguments have been bitter and deeply personal, with both brothers hurling accusations and reopening old wounds. The fracturing of the Spencer brothers is a tragic consequence of this forbidden romance, leaving Wyatt increasingly isolated and dependent on the very woman who is causing his world to collapse. This brings us to the enigmatic motivations of Shauna Fulton herself. Is this truly a story of unexpected, passionate love, or is it a calculated power play by a woman who has always craved a seat at the table? Shauna's history is characterized by audacious moves and opportunistic behavior. She has never been one to shy away from controversy, and she possesses a unique ability to thrive in the midst of chaos. Her return to Los Angeles, armed with leaked intelligence about the Logan brand's expansion plans, suggests a level of strategic planning that belies the image of a woman simply swept away by romance. By aligning herself with Wyatt, a top executive and the son of the most powerful media mogul in the city, Shauna instantly elevates her status and secures a foothold in the high-stakes world of corporate fashion warfare. Yet, human emotions are rarely so black and white. It is entirely possible that Shauna, despite her opportunistic tendencies, has developed a genuine, albeit highly unconventional, connection with Wyatt. They share a certain rebellious spirit, a mutual understanding of what it feels like to be judged and marginalized by the self-righteous elite of Los Angeles. In Wyatt, Shauna may see a man who accepts her flaws and embraces her chaotic energy, a stark contrast to the judgmental glares she receives from Brooke and the rest of the Logan family. However, the question remains whether this connection is strong enough to withstand the immense pressure being applied by Bill, Liam, and Brooke. Shauna must navigate a treacherous minefield, balancing her affection for Wyatt with the very real possibility that their relationship could result in his total professional and personal ruin. For Wyatt, the internal conflict is agonizing. He is a man torn between his loyalty to his family's legacy and his desperate need for emotional autonomy. The relationship with Shauna represents a definitive break from the expectations placed upon him, a radical assertion of his own desires in the face of overwhelming opposition. But the cost of this rebellion is staggering. He is facing the wrath of a father who holds the keys to his professional future, the profound disappointment of a brother who has always been his anchor, and the relentless hostility of a family that views his partner as a mortal enemy. Wyatt must ask himself if the strange, intoxicating comfort he finds in Shauna's arms is truly worth the destruction of his family ties and the potential collapse of his career at the Logan brand. As the rumors continue to swirl and the tension reaches a boiling point, the central question hovering over Los Angeles remains unanswered. Is this true love, or is it merely a strategic pawn in a much larger, far more dangerous game of power? The answer to this question will determine the fate of the Logan brand, the future of the Spencer family, and the ultimate legacy of Wyatt Spencer. The battle lines have been drawn, the secrets have been exposed, and the fallout from this explosive scandal promises to deliver some of the most compelling and dramatic moments in the history of the show. Fans must brace themselves for a roller coaster of emotions as the truth behind Wyatt and Shauna's forbidden romance is finally dragged into the light, forever altering the lives